Alright, hello everybody. We're going to be quick and easy this week. We haven't got a lot to go through. We're sort of knee deep now in assignment 2. Where we're at with it all, I suppose, as a class is that we've had a go at P5. We've selected and we've given our reasoning. We haven't done too many pros and cons in P5. And what should be the case at this point is that you have not conducted your primary, but what you've done so far, what you should have done is you should have completed your questionnaire design on Google Forms. You should have sent that out to all the masses of people that you have, if they're within your sample, in your contact or address book, and you should be chasing them up to get those responses done. What you should also be looking to do is to design your focus group questions or your interview questions or your observation criteria, but obviously you might not be able to fill them in at the moment, but if you can, great. But if you can just design them first. But what we are looking to do for P6 is to get those Google Forms done, and that should be underway, well underway this week. What we're going to look at in this video in particular is we're now going to have a little look at your secondary. Okay, so by the end of this little video, this short video, what should happen is you should know how to put your secondary into your coursework. That's what we're looking to achieve. Just reiterating, I suppose, what I've just said in terms of our timeline. So primary, last week you designed, you issued it. Now we're up to following it up and collating it. I say collate, we don't actually have to collate it because Google Forms will do that for us. So make sure that you've got a minimum, yes, a minimum of 15. Okay, that's what you should have. And if you're using convenience sampling, then that should be quite straightforward. If you're using another type, then it might be certain female, certain male, and so on. So hand in 14th of July. Like I said, we've got that underway. Now we're looking at this area here, right? Screenshots. That's what I'm going to guide you through today in a real short, succinct matter. So it's our screenshots that we should be working on, as well as following up your primary. Right, well, there's only one slide for secondary. Okay, now what we're looking for in this case is, well, quite simply, we are looking for screenshots off the internet. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. And we're looking for around about 12 screenshots. Okay, that's minimum. You can have more than that if you want, and you could get tables that you find online, you can get diagrams, you can get quotes, you can get articles, you can get surveys that other people have carried out. You can get the results from those findings. I think the BBC is a good source for us to use. Can you try and stay away from Google Images? Okay, don't just lift diagrams off Google Images, because it could be for the USA, and obviously you've got to reference them as well, so it's best to find them as you're searching. I think what you'll find in all of this, alright, is that you're going to spend a lot of time searching for stuff and not finding a lot, but you've got to persevere, right? You've just got to find what you can. You know, things that, if you're looking at customer experience, for instance, you know, you could be looking, you know, prices is a screenshot. You could look at reviews. God, my writing's awful. So you could go on to TripAdvisor, but don't go over the top on TripAdvisor. You could look at competition. Okay, competition could be another screenshot that you could find. Something on the media, a news article. You could look at promotion. So even though you're looking at maybe designing a new menu, for instance, I know Lee's doing that, and maybe Lee could look at the social media usage for teenagers. So you could be looking at lifestyles of your target audience, how much income, disposable income, population figures for 16 to 24-year-olds. This is all relevant information that you can find. Okay, that would be suitable. So if you're struggling to find stuff, you can look outside of just like if it's football, if it's fashion or whatever. It's fine to go a little bit off piste, so to speak, and find out about what the competition's doing or what your target audience is up to. Right, if we just go through the list then, so we've got a screenshot there. So very simply, you find something on the internet, you print screen it, and then you paste it into your Google Docs. Now your coursework, this P6 secondary, Google Forms primary, that'll be outside your Google Docs, but you can still design your focus group questions and your interview questions. They can go into your Google Docs, but your P6 secondary, that will go into your Google Docs. Okay, so just be clear on that. That's where they go. So these screenshots will go under a heading P6 secondary, and you're going to do 12 of them. Make sure you reference it with the website and the date. Okay, that's fine for what we need at the moment. The other issue is that I've asked you to do 2 types of secondary. Now if you find that you can't find enough with the 2 types that you've done, you can use all of them. Alright, so don't be afraid to use all of these. So in here, even though you said you're going to use 2, use more if you like, because we can then evaluate that in M1 and D1. So you don't have to stick to the sections that you mentioned in P5, right? You can jump about and choose any. Remember to stick to your objective. That's important. If the data doesn't help you to achieve your objective, then it is not of any use. If it's not relevant to your target audience, if it's not a competition, if it's not to do with the industry, then don't use it. Okay? And that's it in a nutshell, really. Okay, that's how you do. So what you should have at the end of this one is, at the end of the timeline, what you should have is your primary with your minimum 15 questionnaires filled out, prepared for your focus group and your interviews and your observations, but not carried out. Maybe you're going to leave it till September. And you should have your 12 screenshots and reference. They do not need to be written up in any way. They just need to be gathered. P6 is to gather your data. Okay, have a good week. Any questions? Just contact me through Show My Homework. Thanks a lot. Have a good one and stay safe.